There were stories of heroics, redemption, and upsets before the round of 16 fixtures were confirmed on the final match day of the group stage. Traditional powerhouses were shaken, Asian sides scripted history, while African teams proved they are a force to reckon with in one of the most thrilling group stages in the history of the FIFA World Cup. Hello everyone, welcome back once again to my YouTube channel. So the third and the final group matches of the FIFA World Cup 2022 in Qatar is done and dusted. And it is the first time since 1994 when none of the 32 teams have won all the three matches in their group stages. I mean, you can imagine the intensity of the games which has been played and the tough fight which has been given by all the 32 nations during the group stages of this FIFA World Cup 2022. So now coming to Group A, Netherlands was playing against the host nation Qatar for one final time, and once again Netherlands proved too heavy to Qatar as they lost 0-2 in the group stage. And then in the second game of Group A, Senegal was playing against Ecuador, and Ecuador could manage to score only one solitary goal, whereas Senegal scored 2 goals, and that confirmed their place in the round of 16. So now coming to Group B, Iran was playing against the United States of America. And I mean, it was a do or die battle for both the countries. But then USA, they played some fantastic football and they defeated Iran 1-0. And on the other hand, England was taking on Wales, and England proved to be too heavy for Wales as England scored 3 goals, whereas Wales could not even open their account. And as a result, from Group B, England and USA have progressed to the next round, that is the round of 16. So now coming to Group C, so it was a do or die battle for all the Messi fans out there, as Argentina had to win this game to proceed to the round of 16. And yes, they scored 2 goals against Poland, and that confirmed their berth for the round of 16. And on the other hand, Saudi Arabia was taking on Mexico, and Mexico scored 2 goals, whereas Saudi Arabia scored 1 goal. But ultimately, Poland had progressed to the round of 16 by the slightest of margins, because Poland and Mexico were tied on the same points, but just 1 goal difference between Poland and Mexico saw Poland progress to the round of 16. So coming to Group D, Tunisia was taking on the defending champions France, and yes, everyone expected France to win this encounter, but then Tunisia came up as a surprise and they defeated the defending champions 1-0. And on the other hand, Australia was taking on Denmark, and Denmark definitely needed a win to progress to the round of 16, but then the Kangaroos played fantastic football and they scored 1 goal, and they did not let Denmark to score a goal, and eventually Australia have qualified to the round of 16. So now coming to Group E, Germany, the 4-time world champions, was taking on Costa Rica, and definitely they needed to win this game to keep their hopes alive in this FIFA World Cup 2022. And yes, Germany came out strong and they scored 4 goals, whereas Costa Rica managed to score just 2 goals, and eventually Germany had won this final game of their group stage match. But on the other hand, Japan was taking on Spain, and then Spain and Japan were tied at 1-1 during the end of 90 minutes, and by that time, all the German supporters were really hoping that the match ends in a draw. But then, during the additional minutes, after 90 minutes, Japan scored a goal, and that eventually crashed all the hopes of the German fans, as Germany have been knocked out of this FIFA World Cup 2022. And also to make you understand that goal by Japan at the dying stages of the game, I mean, to my naked eyes, it eventually looked that the ball had been out of the playing area from which the goal was scored. But it's all up to you. You can type in your comments in the comment section and let me know what was your opinion of that Japanese goal. So even though Spain and Germany had finished on the same points, but then eventually Germany had to go home because Spain had a huge goal difference thanks to their first game performance against Costa Rica, where they had scored 7 goals against them. And then coming to Group F, Croatia, the runners-up of the previous World Cup, was taking on Belgium, and Belgium needed a win to stay alive in this tournament, but eventually the match ended in a dull draw, and that meant Belgium is out of this FIFA World Cup 2022. And on the other hand, Morocco was taking on Canada, and some fighting game by Morocco that eventually ended in a victory for Morocco, as Morocco won the game 2-1 against Canada. And so that means from Group F, Croatia and Morocco are advancing to the round of 16. Now coming to Group G, Serbia was taking on Switzerland, and a lot of goals were scored in that game, and Serbia scored 2 goals, but eventually Switzerland managed to score 3 goals, and that helped them book a berth in the round of 16. Whereas on the other hand, Brazil, the 5-time World Cup champions, were taking on Cameroon, and to everyone's surprise, Cameroon's 10-man army scored 1 goal against Brazil, and Brazil could not even open their account, and eventually Cameroon handed Brazil the first defeat of this year's FIFA World Cup. So from Group G, Switzerland and Brazil are progressing to the round of 16. And now coming to the final group, that is Group H, Portugal was taking on South Korea, and yes, it was a really tough fight. Portugal managed to score 1 goal, but then South Korea, I mean, this Asian team, they played some fantastic football throughout the group stages, and they managed to defeat Portugal 2-1. And on the other hand, Ghana was taking on Uruguay, and Uruguay won the game 2-0 against Ghana, but ultimately the goal difference was also same between South Korea and Uruguay, but then South Korea managed to progress to the round of 16 just because they had scored 4 goals in the group stages. And so from Group H, Portugal and South Korea have advanced to the round of 16. And so now with the group stages done and dusted for all the 32 teams, we are now left with just 16 teams, as all the teams will be playing knockout games from now on. So just take a look at what is the lineup and what are the matches that will be played from now on. So the first game, Netherlands will be taking on USA, then Argentina will take on Australia, then the defending champions France will be taking on Poland. After that, it will be England who will be taking on Senegal, then Japan, the Asian giants, will be taking on the last World Cup's runners-up Croatia, and after that 5-time champions Brazil will be taking on South Korea. Then on the next game, Morocco will be taking on Spain, the 2010 champions, and then the final game will be played between Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal against Switzerland. So with some exciting finishes during the group stages, some heartbreaks for the nations like Germany crashing out of this FIFA World Cup 2022. I mean, it has been a roller coaster ride for all the 32 teams during the group stages. So now the action moves to the round of 16, and I will be bringing all the updates of this game, of the games in the group of 16. So do stay tuned to my channel, guys, and do not forget to subscribe if you are into this for the first time. Thanks for your time. Thanks for watching.